Hi everyone, I'm Paul Kinkowitz, and this is a development update for Grapplers Relic Rivals, my 2D PvP platformer with grappling hooks. In this update, I wanted to go over how the relic system was implemented in a bit of detail and showcase some of the various relics I've created with it so far, so let's dig in. I knew when I started building this system that I needed to make it as easy to work with as possible, as relics are a core part of my game. I started by making a single script that I could call to handle various events that happen in the game. If you've ever used an event system, it basically uses a very similar system to that. If you haven't heard of events, the basic premise is that there are various things that can happen, called events, and the system handles doing stuff when that particular event happens. In my case, the current events are a relic being added, a player spawning, a relic being removed, or a player dying. Let's look at an example. One of my relics simply increases the player's max health. When we detect that this relic has been added to a player, or when a new player with that relic is spawned, we increase the player's max health and heal them for that same amount. If the relic gets removed, we reduce the player's max health and make sure their current health isn't higher than their new max. If the player dies, there's nothing to do, so that event is empty. Now let's look at a slightly more complicated example, the Flame Shield. When the Flame Shield relic is added, or a new player with that relic is spawned, we spawn in 2 Flame Shields, one for each side, that follow the player around. All the logic for the Flame Shield itself is handled in the Flame Shield object. This was done so I could keep the logic for each relic completely separate, which makes iteration so much easier. When the relic is removed, or a player with that relic dies, we destroy all instances of the Flame Shield, since the only instances will be the ones around the player with that relic. There's one other nuance to this system. For any relic that needs to do something outside of the events I mentioned, I can simply check elsewhere in the script if the player has that given relic, and put some custom script wherever I want. This isn't 100% ideal, but it does allow me to do extremely custom stuff with my relics.
Ow! Ouch!
This system has made creating new relics extremely quick. I was able to make about 4 to 5 relics in an hour, with much of the time being spent creating the art necessary for them. Here are just some of the relics I've been able to create. The Flame Shield relic follows the player and damages enemies it touches. This relic was largely regarded as OP during the alpha playtest, so I'll have to tune it down a bit in the future, which will likely entail me turning it off for a few seconds every time it deals damage. Similarly, the Spinning Blades relic follows the player and damages enemies it touches, but since it's constantly orbiting the player, it was regarded as being a bit more balanced. The Coin Magnet relic creates a circle around the player that sucks up nearby coins. This relic was incredibly OP when I first made it, and I've had to nerf it into the ground since by shrinking its radius, reducing the magnetized coin's speed, and making the coins not be able to go through walls. The things I like most about this relic is that it emphasizes a different way to play. Rather than encouraging players to fight their enemies, this relic instead encourages them to avoid enemies and focus on picking up coins. The Double Coin relic simply doubles the coins you get, though it doesn't double diamonds. This pairs well with the Coin Magnet. The No Coin Explosion relic, for lack of better name, makes it so you don't shoot out coins when you die. You'll still lose them, but your enemies won't have a chance to pick them up. Instead, however, this relic will drop on death, allowing an enemy to claim its power for their own. I also just like that this relic looks like a piggy bank. The Disable Aim Lines relic causes other players' aim lines to disappear, making it harder for them to grapple. This showcases that certain relics will actually debuff other players. The Heal Over Time relic, well, heals you over time. Anyway, you get the idea. As you can see, this system allows me to easily create hugely diverse relics with different mechanics and playstyles. Finally, I wanted to mention that I'll be moving these devlogs to a monthly cadence rather than weekly. I'm doing this for a few reasons. Firstly, making these videos has taken up roughly 20% of my development time, and I'm looking to reclaim some of that time moving forward. I also just started looking for an artist and got over 50 applicants in just a few short days, so I'll be sifting through those and then getting an artist ramped up in the short term. Finally, basically all of the systems have been created for the game, so the updates moving forward will largely just be me going over similar things. More levels, more relics, more tracks. It just makes sense to spread out the updates a bit more. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.